right, hello everybody, and welcome to a very special episode of Bri Hunter is Fucked, where I will be ranking my top 15 favorite porn stars. Sorry, that was like a mouthful. I was sort of teasing this for a while, but then I found out that Barstool hired a guy or had a guy rank, 370 of his favorite porn stars. And I'm not going to lie, I was a little bit salty that they didn't hire me and assign me that project because that would be like my life's work. But I said, screw it. I'm going to release my own mini list of my top 15 favorite porn stars. Now, anybody who knows me or listens to this podcast knows that porn is something that is very near and dear to my heart. I've been single for a while, and then definitely with the pandemic, I feel like if you were not a fan of porn before, you probably are a fan of porn now. I think it's safe to say. And when I was like, I think I've put more effort into creating this list into almost anything else I've ever done in my life. Like, it was what I think most people go through when they draft their like fantasy football or fantasy whatever bullshit league. Like, I always used to make fun of people like that because I was like, what is, like, it's not that serious. And now I know what you were going through and I know what you feel like. So I apologize because you know what? It's a lot of pressure and there's a lot of criteria and there's, a lot to think about. So if I ever gave you shit, I would just like to apologize now. So let's get started. Number 15 is Veronica Rodriguez, who, if you've been watching any type of Latina porn in the last 3 years, you know Veronica Rodriguez. I want to say, don't quote me on this, but she's right now, I think she's coming in around like top 4, like 4th or 5th in terms of views like on Pornhub in the Latina category. This is probably weird and super vain, but I oftentimes like women who I think look even remotely like me. So if you have like a Latina Italian thing going on, like, I am down for you pretty much no matter what. So yeah, Veronica Rodriguez, again, if you've searched Latina anything on Pornhub, there's like a 99% chance that you've seen her. And I hope this is not wrong to say because I mean it as a compliment. I don't know what it is about the Latin people, men or women, but it's like you were born to make porn if you so choose. Like, I don't think I've ever seen, it's like pizza. Like, even when pizza's bad, it's good. Like, even when like a Latina or Latino porn isn't my favorite or the best, it's still somehow good. Like, I don't know, you guys are just like passionate and like virile, and I don't know what it is. It like, I just feel like I've never seen, a Latina in porn and been like, oh, she didn't do a bang up job. No pun intended. So shout out to all the Latina women out there, including number 15, Veronica Rodriguez. Number 14, first dude of the list. His name is Alex Adams. Now, if you watch porn, I know what you're thinking, like, oh, I've never heard of this guy. I was like, when I looked up the top like 10 or 20 most famous like heterosexual male porn stars, this guy was at the top of the list. He has like 3 or 4 billion like Jeff Bezos numbers, 3 or 4 billion views on Pornhub. And I was like, okay, how could that be? And yet I've never, like, I don't recognize this guy and I don't know his name. That is because this man has been in practically every POV video in the last, or like homemade video in the last 5 years. So you would probably never recognize his face, but you would probably recognize him from the neck down, let's say. So if you Google him or you search him, not Google, if you search him on Pornhub, there will just be like a shitload of videos and you're like, holy, this guy has been like, he's basically like the Caped Crusader or wait, no, not the Cape. Who the fuck's Batman? What was his nickname? I don't know, but he's basically like a masked hero. It's like you would never know who he was out on the streets, but little do we know, this man has literally been doing the Lord's work on Pornhub. Look up his videos. You'll be surprised at how many you've either seen or you're like, oh shit, like, I can't believe I didn't know this guy. Number 13 is, this is a very popular chick, Layla Starr. And if you've ever watched porn, you would know Layla as the chick that looks like Kim K or has starred in every Kim K porn parody that somebody, could possibly think of. I think she's just sort of had that look to begin with when she got into the industry, but when she figured out that that was going to be her niche, she sort of doubled down on it. I think got ass implants, got all of her tattoos removed so she could really fulfill like the hardcore porn Kim K fantasy. Now, anybody who watches porn, you know that like having a niche is extremely important because there's a ton of hot people looking to fuck for money, apparently. So you like it just being hot and being good at sex is not enough to make it big in porn. So you have to have a niche, which means either you do some kind of weird, frightening shit, or you have like a very specific look or vibe or thing that you do that it's going to make you stand out from everybody else. So with Layla Starr, again, I think she had like a Kim K vibe to begin with, but she doubled down. Al actually told me that she used to have a huge back tattoo, like a big ass back tattoo, and she got the whole thing removed, laser removed, just so she would look more like Kim Kardashian. So, little fun fact for you guys. I didn't intend for this to be educational, but here we are. Number 12 is Danny Mountain, another dude. Danny Mountain is a hot British guy. He was married to another famous porn star, Mia Malkova, for about 4 years. I don't know. I don't like people. I'm like, what makes him special? Like, he's hot as fuck. He's British. Like, and I don't know. To me, there's something about like a British porn star because it's like inherently they're dirty as fuck because they're making porn for a living, but yet refined because they're still British. And I just kind of like, we always like a nice dichotomy in porn. So it's like, fuck me, but also like be chivalrous about it. Like, I don't know. He just has like a way about him. And now I'm like weirdly thinking about like Nigel Thornberry and his British accent, and I don't know why. And now, oh fuck, this may have ruined it for me. But Danny Mountain, number 12, and number 11 is his former wife, Mia Malkova. Definitely a superstar in the industry. I like her, and I think she's probably famous because she is basically like a white chick with a Latina or a black girl's body. Like her face is saying Sweden, but her ass is saying Brazil. And, we love to see it. So I don't even know how I stumbled upon her originally. But that was my first thought when I saw her. I was like, oh, like this is so weird. Like this, like her look is sort of like something else entirely. And I don't know. I don't want to say I don't like skinny girls per se, but in porn, it's like, it's basically like, the white meat versus like the chicken thigh. Like, like the chicken breast is like the healthier version that bodybuilders eat and that the version you should eat. But like the fried thigh or the fried drumstick from KFC is the one that you really want. And that's kind of how I feel in porn. Like, don't give me the super fit skinny chick. Like, give me the girl who might have diabetes in a couple years. That's who I want. Number 10 is, sorry, I just totally lost my train of thought thinking about KFC. Number 10 is the seriously fucking beautiful Sunny Leone. Sunny Leone is Indian, and she is like I feel like in general porn stars are hot. Like they have like porn star good looks, but there are some women who are like they could fucking grace the cover of Vogue. And Sunny Leone is one of those chicks. Just super hot, or not even just hot, but beautiful. And she is a porn star who retired from porn and actually had still has a very successful mainstream career. So a lot of the times, if you're familiar with porn, you'll hear about porn stars wanting or trying or just going mainstream, meaning that they want a career in entertainment, not in the adult industry, which is obviously kind of hard to do because people judge you or your past follows you around, right, wrong, or indifferent. So it's very difficult. But Sunny Leone has actually managed to parlay a career into television and film after being a very famous adult film star. So we love you, girl. Get that bread. Number 9, this is like a going back to like the high school days for me. Number 9 is Madison Ivy. She's been around for a while, although you wouldn't be able to tell because she like doesn't age. It like defies logic. She's also just like a cool chick. Like I appreciate a porn star who is also like entertaining on Twitter and Instagram, and she is definitely that girl. Always has been. She's really into like weed and Lord of the Rings and like I don't know, like all that kind of like bro-y shit. Like I feel like she would do like live action role play. Like I feel like she'd be like one of those people. Like I don't know, she's just cool and she's like kind of alternative. But my claim to fame with Madison Ivy is that when I was in high school, I tweeted at her a meme of like it was like a weed and a Lord of the Rings tie-in, and she responded back to me saying that she loved me with a heart and thank you for sending. And I literally have the screenshot from God, I don't even know, like 2010, saved in my phone. If it ever, I should really just get it like printed and framed in my house because if it ever gets deleted, like I don't even know what I would do. But yes, Madison Ivy, number 9, longtime favorite of the Brie. Number 8. Okay, number 8 is somebody that like everybody should know, even if you're not really into porn or whatever, because she's just the coolest ever. The quintessential MILF, in my opinion, Lisa Ann, who had a very successful career in porn, but now is very famous because she is a great radio entertainment personality. She's really into sports, so it's like every guy's wet dream. It's like a hot porn star who also knows everything about football. I think she used to be on Sirius Radio, but I know that now she actually works for Barstool full time, has a very successful show with them. Super hot, like all of her videos, but we also like somebody or we respect somebody who, again, can leave the adult entertainment industry and have a career after the fact. It's not easy. So anybody who does it, I'm super impressed with them. And it's just sort of like a bonus that she makes really hot porn. Number 7, lucky number 7 is another famous name in the industry, Riley Reid. Riley Reid, what can I say about her? What I like about her is that she's very versatile. So a lot of the times when you start watching porn and you watch a lot of porn, you're obviously going to have your favorite porn stars. Now, the problem is not every porn star does every category. Like a lot of the times, like I was talking about the niche, like they sometimes have like very specific things they do. Like they're only going to do like anal and lesbian, and then that's like their career. They only really do those 2 things. So when you have somebody that you like who will do pretty much any theme that you're into that night, like that person is a gem. And then in this case, for me, that person is Riley Reid. Like she is just sort of like like a porn star Neapolitan. Like you can think of it, she's probably done it. Been around for a long time. And again, definitely somebody who, like, if you're making your first foray into porn and you want to have like a fan fave, I would start out with Riley Reid. These are like pearls of wisdom I'm giving you if you don't watch porn. Like I'm basically giving you like the how-to on how to like walk the halls of Pornhub, basically. Number 6 is another guy, Johnny Sins. Now, another person who, if you watch porn, you're thinking, I don't know who that is. Yes, you do. He is the bald guy in every porn that contains a bald guy. There's like a 98% chance that it's this guy, Johnny Sins. Same thing as the other 2, like a seasoned vet in the industry. Like I said, he basically is like any porn you've seen that stars a guy that looks like Mr. Clean. It's probably Johnny Sins. And I'm super shocked by this, but nobody has actually made a Joe Rogan porn parody yet. And 1, I think that they should. I'm actually going to trademark the idea when we're done recording today. But 2, if they do, like this is the guy to do it. Like he has the look, he has the experience, like no pun intended. But this is our guy, Johnny Sins. Number 5, Christy Mack. Now, Christy Mack is retired, but she was in the porn industry for, I don't know, I want to say like 3 or 4 years. Christy Mack was special because she is covered head to toe in tattoos. She has like a really edgy look, and she was, I feel like, one of the original girls to rock that fade where you basically like, the girls would like shave the side of their head. And to me, like you have to be like a really hot chick to pull that off, and she is in fact a really hot chick who was able to pull it off. And like I said, she was definitely somebody who, not really like a veteran of the industry because she's retired now, but she made a really big splash in like the 3 or 4 years that she was in porn. And we miss her dearly. And I just want to go on record saying that I will be here for the reunion tour whenever that comes or whenever she decides, basically. Number 4, our last guy on the list is Jason Lescott. He's a newer favorite of mine, but because I've gotten into, or I've been watching more and more UFC lately, I've just sort of like had that fantasy. And like Jason Lescott is like tattooed and chiseled. So he just kind of checks that box and fulfills the UFC fantasy for me. So he's been doing the Lord's work for me throughout the pandemic for the last couple of months. So yeah, Jason Lescott. Number 3, and this was almost my number 1, but I changed my mind in the end. But number 3 is probably the most, if not one of the most famous porn stars of all time, Jenna Jameson. I think she's more famous than Ron Jeremy, but even if you disagree, like you have to admit that she's up there with Ron Jeremy. Like Jenna Jameson is just synonymous with porn. Huge porn star in the 90s, super hot, has like the typical blonde bombshell look. I've read her autobiography twice, cover to cover. I once tried to get a henna replica of her famous tattoo when I was 14 or 15 years old and down the shore with my family. I didn't think they would see it because the tattoo in real life is like 2 inches by 2 inches, but the tattoo or henna artist that I went to decided to take some creative liberties and make it a 5x9 tramp stamp on my back, which my entire extended 60 plus person family had the pleasure of seeing the next day by the pool. So I was grounded for about 3 weeks for that one. But a fun story for the grandkids nonetheless. So her book, her tattoo, and then when I was in high school, that was kind of like when I was the most obsessed with her. We had to do one of those time capsule things where you write down on a piece of paper who you want to be or what you want to be, in 10, 20 years. And I, being a smart ass, wrote down Jenna Jameson, put it in the time capsule. We're supposed to open it, in front of everybody 20 years later at the reunion. And I'm just mentally preparing myself to have to answer for that when the time comes. But number 3, again, like probably the biggest porn star in IMO, in my opinion, Jenna Jameson. Number 2, Tara Patrick. Another person who was like a porn superstar to me, but I think to everybody in general. She's like mixed. She's half Asian, half Irish, so she's just good looking as anything. I don't really know, like I can't really say what makes me her favorite. I think it's just that like she's so hot and she did all kinds of videos that like if I ever was like, oh, I kind of want to browse, but I don't really know what I'm looking for tonight, I would be like, oh, let me look up Tara Patrick and just take my pick of the litter of all of her videos. She also was married to that dude. If you're into like tattooed UFC looking guys, she was married to that guy, Evan Seinfeld, who was on that show Oz. Now, Oz, like, I would not recommend that if you want to get turned on. It was like very violent. There was some man on man love because it's about prison. But definitely I don't know that I would watch that to get turned on. But he was in that and he's pretty hot and they were married for like 5 years. So that would be like an ideal threesome, I think, now that I'm thinking about it. Before we get to number 1, there were a couple honorable mentions that obviously didn't make the top 15, but they almost did, and I feel like I owe them at least a mention. So that was Janine Lindemulder, who, again, even if you're not really into porn, you would know her as the hot nurse lady on the Blink-182 album cover with like the blue eyeshadow, which is like, if you grew up when I grew up, that was like the soundtrack to like your grammar school years. She was a porn star. And like I said, she was on the cover. And I think for that alone, I'll always just love her. Asia Akira, up there with Jenna Jameson, is sort of like an industry icon. She's Asian, super hot. I actually I'm almost positive she went to Rutgers University, which is my alma mater. I'm like 98% sure that she did. So we also have that in common. Love it. Mariah Mills. That's actually one of Al's favorites. So even though he's not with us today, I felt like I had to mention her on his behalf. So in porn, we don't say black. In porn, we say ebony. And Mariah Mills is one of the top ebony stars, super hot, and again, one of Al's favorites. So how could I not mention her? And last but not least of the honorable mentions would be Nikki Benz. So pretty much your standard smoking hot blonde bombshell. I feel like she was really big in like my college years. Like definitely made a splash back then. And like I said, I feel like for me, it's like mainly Latinas or like the stereotypical like hot blonde girl. Like that's kind of where I tend to stay. So Nikki Benz definitely checks the second box there. So that brings us to last but not least, well, definitely not least, but number one favorite porn star. And I just want everybody to know that this was not like oh, I guess that'll be my number one. Like I really thought about this like for days, and there was like different criteria that I based my decision on, and I really thought it over. I watched a few videos just to do research to make sure my heart was still in it, and I still felt the same way. But I've decided that my number one has to be Nicole Aniston. Nicole Aniston is, well, first of all, she's up there with Sunny Leone as far as like smoking hot, like Vogue level beauty. Even if you're not into porn, like just Google her just to get a look. You will not regret it. She's stunningly beautiful. She's been around for a while. I don't really know. Like, I feel like she hasn't really done anything crazy. Like, she doesn't do like, like fetish videos. None that I know of anyway. But she just always delivers for me anyway. And one of my favorite videos of her, or one of my favorite, I don't know what you would call it, like projects she did, was she was like made 3 or 4 appearances on this series called Tonight's Girlfriend. So Tonight's Girlfriend was like a porn series where the girl was like a high class escort, and then it was just a dude, and they were in a nice hotel room that I probably can never afford. And obviously they would fuck. And she was, probably because she was just so amazing, was in it like 3 or 4 times. And every video of that series with her, or just any of her videos in general, is amazing. So yeah, Nicole Aniston. Oh, and I also recently found out that she used to date a comedian. So I mean, like right then and there, it's like my 2 favorite things all rolled into one. And I consider myself heterosexual, but if she ever wanted to date me, like it would be like a resounding yes for me and Nicole Aniston. She's provided me with so much comfort and pleasure and happiness over the years. So I hope I get to meet her one day so I can thank her in person. But that is it, you guys. That is my number one. So what are my wrap-up notes? Oh, first of all, I apologize to my mom and dad in advance. I hope they don't see this, but knowing my mom, she'll stumble upon it eventually. So I would like to just apologize in advance. I know you're not going to be very happy, but listen, Ma, I'm just giving the people what they want here. And then, yeah, I guess everybody else, like, let me know what you think of my list. Let me know if we have any of the same favorites. You can even let me know if you vehemently disagree with me on anybody, because I always like a good debate. But this is my top 15 favorite porn stars. I hope you enjoyed. And next week we'll be back with Al and our regularly scheduled programming. Sorry, I literally haven't even been drinking tonight, but this is what happens as you age, guys. But yeah, until next time, everybody, thank you for watching.
Bri Hunter is fucked!